Hi everybody. I want to bring you a documentary on the Earth Dome. I found 2 comprehensive videos and a long list of individual photos that will surely please those who believe and hopefully encourage those who do not believe to convert. But as always, you decide. Alright. Throughout history, even in the religions, we hear that Earth has a dome over it. There's rather some kind of speculation as to what altitude the dome exists, at what longitude, what latitude, why we can't go above it. Some say we can now do it, others say we can't. I'm on the fence still. I'm still one who believes in satellites and everything else. I did get my mic working, and it's actually pretty awesome the way I did it. My computer here has an audio output or outlet, and I didn't know that I could also put my mic piece in that, and I now have mic function, so that's good. Going back to the Earth Dome documentary, there's 2 comprising pieces that I want to talk to you about. One is a reference to a video by GeoShifter, which a man-made rocket in 2014 collided with something in the air when the rocket was at 73 miles AGL above ground level. And what happens is the rocket hits an object and basically stalls. Now, what's really funny is there's 2 cameras on board, one showing the ground, one showing the sky, and there's nothing toward the sky that says that it hits a satellite or hits a piece of space junk or anything else. Literally, there is nothing in there that suggests that it hits anything that would stop it. And going the speeds that we're talking, where it takes minutes for it to reach this so-called Earth dome, or debris that it hits, the rocket should penetrate through the debris, basically destroying the rocket. Now, the designers of this rocket must have been very, very smart, in it that they designed a system where, like the cars we drive today, certain parts of the vehicle crack and smash together to absorb impact, this allowing the actual rocket to stay intact, allowing the fuselage not to smash into the nose cone and break apart, among many other things. Now, this rocket must have really been a couple of good man-hours, because when it hits this so-called dome, it does not break apart. I can't even begin to understand how anything going at that speed does not break apart when it hits something. I've seen lots of NASA videos of the Gemini missions, lots of videos of everything, and they just smack high in the air and then they break apart, and that's all we hear. All we see is debris. So there is a lot of speculation on this, but this video is very real. They show this rocket starting on the ground, and in 2 minutes it hits this dome. Well, the impact is at about 1 minute 26 seconds into the film, and I hope you enjoy this among the other parts of this documentary. Rocket's at an altitude of 73 miles. This is rocket hitting the flat Earth dome by GeoShifter. hitting the dome in 3, 2, 1. And then notice that, folks. It just continues to spin, but it's stable, like it hit something. I find that funny, folks, that it can actually hit the dome or whatever it hit in the air and stop and then just rotate like it was. Now, it didn't hit like the upper end of the atmosphere and then all of its inertia stopped when it hit the vastness of space. That's not what happened. It hit something. You heard the impact. That wasn't the engine shutting down. That was literally an impact. And then the rocket slowed down. It stalled basically, and it kept rotating because of the inertia or the counter inertial forces on the rocket, and it was beginning to slow. Question is, what did it hit? You and I know what that is, folks, whether you want to admit it or not. It was the supposed Earth dome. This is a recording of the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket, which crashes into the Earth dome. I'm going to be showing you from a different site than what I had recorded this on. I'm going to be showing it from Sky News rather than Flat Earth Clues. And this basically shows the exact same thing. It shows that just about 2 minutes 36 seconds into the film, the rocket hits what I believe and what everyone else watching this would probably believe to be the Earth dome, and it causes the rocket to explode. Now, believe what you want, but this is what happens. It happened in the Gemini missions, happened everywhere else. Now, this is my situation with this, folks. This is a partnered mission with SpaceX, the corporation that is basically going to help NASA with its ISS projects and be allowed to launch independent rockets to the ISS and start a corporate space agency, along with other corporations thereof. Now, here's the situation. When this rocket breaks apart and actually hits something, nobody flips out. That's what I can't understand, folks. Nobody's going, why did that happen? Nobody's going, explain that, NASA. Nope, everybody's calm, everybody's collective, almost as if this is a learning assignment that has to be shown and experienced, almost like NASA had to do it, and everybody who basically wants to go to space has to basically go through these steps and watch a, say, $23 million rocket break into parts when it hits this dome. Now, I don't like the fact that we're wasting that kind of money, but this seems to be the game that everybody plays. It's kind of like the initiation, like the rite of passage. This is what you have to do in order to go above the Earth dome. You have to allow one of your rockets, or multiple rockets, with or without occupants, to crash into this Earth dome. This is what the owners of the Earth or the inhabitants thereof want, and this is how you get permission to use the codes to go above the Earth, etc., etc., etc. Now, this video is actually quite amazing because when you see this, this is what it actually is like.
1 kilometer per second, downrange distance 13 kilometers.
Data coming back shows vehicle on course, on track.
And there are the pieces, folks. So you tell me what it is and what it isn't. Because this is what I'm seeing, folks. It hit something, the rocket basically pushed into, or the thrusters pushed into the nose cone, and then it all broke apart. There was no huge explosion. There was nothing. It was just there. The thrusters went into the nose cone, and basically everything went poof. Obviously, there was an explosion when they showed it, and with the actual rocket, but as we saw it, there was not so much of a massive explosion as we would imagine there to be. Now I'm going to show you the images I found, and since early man has even wondered, they've always shown there is an actual Earth dome, and here is some of the early renderings. This one's more colored. You might have seen this in your grade school studies. Man looking through the dome, holding a stick and a receptor in one hand, looking out and seeing the heavens in all its glory and all its works. This is a black and white coloring, same idea. Basically sees the real world as it is, basically a giant clock type view around what we see. Now, this one's coming from Genesis and all the other Bible stories thereof. If you're into the theology, it says that there is a firmament of the sky and a firmament above the firmament, and then basically water under the firmament. So this is actually true at this point, or at least according to this. I do not believe there is water above the firmament, but it does make for some nice theology. This is what everybody believes the dome looks like, with the wall covering the dome where we cannot reach. This wall being the South Pole, this of course being a shortened rendering of what we see and experience day in, day out. Oddly enough, those who did this didn't get it quite right that this up here is supposed to be the moon, but hey, this is what it is, right? Right, it's just a 3D rendering. This is what it's supposed to be like when we add in the flat Earth. This is what it's supposed to be like when we add in the flat Earth at night. The dome. Now, this one here is really awesome because this was one of the photos I showed during the flat Earth theory documentary, and this is without all of the names and everything around it. I actually found this when I was doing this, and I thought this was a great rendering to show how, if the South Pole does go all the way around, how the quickest way to see this is through South America and what looks like Australia. And as you can see, this is a picture of the actual ice wall, or at least believed part of the ice wall. This was an interactive image. Unfortunately, it doesn't work well. This is actually supposed to be Rothera, the Rothschild little base off the South Pole, or North Pole as it is in the regular map, South Pole as in the flat Earth map. And basically, this is where we stop. Thank you guys very much. God bless everything else.